players progressing toward opening day. Yeah, less than 3 weeks away. Tanner hasn't allowed an earned run in 3 starts. He gets it going next on Messin. Beautiful breezy day. Welcome back to West Palm. Start of a great week for us. We'll be with you today against the Cardinals. Tuesday and Friday. Nats fans, Cardinal fans, a lot of red in this ballpark today, so the place should be jumping. And we mentioned that game 15 thing to you. Spring training after today's game halfway over in terms of the games. And FP, it's great now to see the pitchers being stretched out.
Yeah, Tanner will get to 60 pitches today. The other starters have already gotten to 60, so 75 next time out. They'll gravitate to 100 pitches and then opening day.
Tanner Roark has made a very subtle change to his setup and then his delivery. So what might be subtle could turn out to be pretty big for him in this rotation.
Well, remember, Tanner had a great second half last year. His ERA under 4. He had 86 strikeouts in 80 innings, but he's tinkered with his delivery here. We just talked to Derek Lilliquist. It's getting him to his release point more consistently. So a modified delivery, we'll check it out together, almost like a hitter spreading out in his stance, but it's getting him to the same release point every pitch, so it's harder to pick up what he's throwing. It seems so far so good, and we're all excited to see what it looks like firsthand.
Yeah, and the Nats pitching coach seemed to be really pleased that that holds true for all of his pitches. So we got a good crowd gathering. It's a time of the year when a lot of Washingtonians, Virginians, Marylanders come down for the spring training games, and here we go against the St. Louis Cardinals straight ahead.
Hi, it's Marjorie and
team ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Folks still coming in. Beautiful day. Few clouds around. We had threats of rain, but nothing so far as we knock on Fort Micah here. 82 degrees. Muggy as always in Florida. And that breeze will help balls hitting out to left center and down the left field line. Yadier Molina, 14th year in the big leagues. Completed last year to keep his batting average over 280. And then, of course, that guy hitting 2 spots in front of him, our old opponent from the Marlins, Mr. Ozuna, 4 for 24 so far. He's expected to be the big power guy in their lineup. Dexter Fowler, Tommy Pham, guys who had pretty good seasons last year. Here's Tanner, 8 innings so far this spring, FP, not an earned run. Only 3 hits in those 8 innings with 8 Ks.
Yeah, Tanner had a great second half of last year. 7-5 with a 3.9 ERA in 14 games. Struck out 86 in 80 2/3 innings and had a 233 average against. So fastball, slider, curveball change for Tanner. Fastball averaged 92 miles an hour last year. And well, I'll check out his new delivery together, but I know the beard game is strong, so he's got that going for him, which is nice. Defense behind Tanner today: Rayburn, Robles, Harper the outfield, Turner, Rendon left side, Reynolds, Marmolejos right side. That's a fun one to say. And then Miguel Montero behind the plate. There's a kid in center field. Impressed a lot of people. He's going to have to turn that hat around, and he's ready.
I thought he was going exorcist on us there. He'll be batting 6th, and young Mr. Robles has 8 hits this spring. Here's Dexter Fowler, .263 with 18 homers for St. Louis last year. He was their big acquisition after his time with the world champion Cubs a couple of years ago. C.B. Buckner calling time.
So here's the delivery, Carp. Check it out already. Looks like he's kind of in the stretch. Remember Ross Detweiler's delivery? That's what I'm picturing. Something similar. And we talked to Derek Lilliquist before the game, and he was saying, hey, it just gets you to the same release point. Every pitch looks the same. It's coming out of the same window, and you can repeat that delivery more consistently. You don't have to think and pitch.
First pitch was at 106. Really nice job changing speeds against Fowler. So Tanner coming off his 13-win season. ERA, yeah, 4.67, but much better in the second half. Got the ball 32 times, all but 2 of those starts. And Reed Brignac, the veteran. That was Trey Turner, pardon me. Brignac later. And the first out of the ball game on a routine ground ball. And FP, you and Derek Lilliquist were talking about this on the field a moment before we did our open down there. What you call soft contact off the bat against Tanner Roark. There's a great example right there.
Yeah, in 2016, the average exit velocity for Tanner Roark was 86 miles an hour. That was 16th lowest in the big leagues for 142 qualified pitchers. Exit
Up there
velocity.
slugging Tommy Pham. Oh, great job to cut it off by Robles. And there's a play you don't see in the box score, but that keeps a guy out of scoring position with 1 out.
And keeps the double play in order.
Yep. Tommy Pham coming off a big season last year.
Well, backhand play. Robles displaying the range and the arm strength.
Tommy Pham 306 last year, 23 homers. Here's their first baseman, Jose Martinez. Pham 21 steal, pardon me, 6 steals last year at the minor league level. And then he comes up to the big leagues and swipes 25. Pretty good lead. Ball skips into the mid of Montero, who kept it close.
It's your first look at Miguel Montero on Masson. Caught with the Cubs for a little bit last year.
Yeah, the well-known game that the Nats were involved in when he was catching Jake Arrieta.
Trey had 4 in that game.
That was June 28th. The Nats stole 7 bases in that game, and he was DFA'd the next day after publicly, I guess you would just have to call it criticizing his pitcher for not holding runners. I mean, he didn't feel like he had a chance to throw anybody out.
He might get a chance right here. Tanner Roark pretty quick to the plate, though. He's tough to steal on. He'll definitely give Miguel a chance. And when you talk to people that have played with Miguel Montero, Davey Martinez was a coach for the Cubs. They all said he's a great teammate. He just got frustrated after a game, said something that maybe he wishes he didn't say publicly, but he's an outspoken guy, and you know, the guys love him here in camp, so we'll see if he makes the team. He definitely calls a great game.
And he's always been a solid offensive performer.
Clutch.
Career average of just under 260. He was hitting 286 for the Cubs last year when all that took place.
Yeah, he's not afraid of the bright lights and the big stage. He had some clutch hits for the Cubs in the playoffs and the World Series.
20 guys hollering back.
We'll sing it. I'll be drinking, I'll be unaware.
2-1's the count. That ball is way out of here. A hop at the top of the berm. And the Cardinals on top by 2.
So you saw the sign from Montero. He wanted fastball in. Did Tanner Roark get it in there? You look at the replay and probably wanted that off the plate a little more. But Martinez absolutely knew what to do with that one. And you never know if the influence of Tommy Pham, maybe with a threat to steal at first base, had something to do with that.
And this one to the right side. Matt Reynolds getting the start at second today, 2 down. Next up is Paul DeYoung. First earned runs Tanner Roark has given up this spring in 9 innings. Paul DeYoung in 108 games last year drove in 65 runs. First real test in the big leagues, and he got himself a 3-year contract out of that.
So it's real subtle. You remember last year that, and we'll probably get a chance to show you. We have some video of Tanner last year as opposed to this year. Watch the subtle little ball. It's more the lower half than the upper half. We'll show it to you. We got plenty of time.
Breaking ball well outside, 2-1.
It's a lot more compact, succinct. And it's basically out of the stretch. I mean, I expected it to be more square to the plate with just a little step back, but his lower half, there's really not a whole lot to it. Steven Strasburg, if you remember, had tons of success with this last year.
3-1, and this one just misses low and away. Yadier Molina, the number 6 man in the lineup, will hit here in the first.
Fans appreciated the way you introduced him there. Nice ovation for Bob Carpenter.
Well, I remember when he was in the minor leagues, and Tony La Russa told me one day, we got this kid who could catch in the big leagues right now. I think he was about 18 years old. He said if he ever learns how to be a consistent hitter, he'll play a long time in the major leagues. And so this is year number 15 for Yadier Molina. 82 runs batted in last year. Montero setting up outer edge. Comebacker. Oh yeah, little backhand right off the top of the pitching rubber, and that'll do it for St. Louis in the first. A Pham double, a Martinez homer, and Tanner Roark early favorite for the Gold Glove.
A little behind the back, not a problem.
Join T-Mobile.
empty seats down in the right field corner. Ballpark filling in nicely. And the Nats with Turner, Kendrick, and Harper. Howie's 6 for 15 this spring. And he gets the DH today. So on a .400 batting average. Rendon, Montero, Robles, the middle. Marmolejos, Rayburn, Reynolds. The Nats will take on 24-year-old Luke Weaver.
Yeah, Luke did a nice job for the Cardinals last year. 7-2 with the .388. So fastball, cutter, curveball change. Fastball last year he threw 60% of the time, averaged 92 miles an hour. He's a ground ball pitcher, had a career high 49% ground ball percentage last year. So
that could be the order of the day. Tanner Roark, 3 ground ball outs in the first. Trey is 7 for 23. St. Louis pitching staff this spring 5.08. Washington 2.80.
Trey working on seeing more pitches down here in spring training.
4 walks. We saw Jose Altuve doing that the other day for Houston, and of course Jason Worth used to come down here every year and see 5 or 6 pitches every time he hit.
See last season, first 3 pitches, and 4th and after. Should be swinging here in a 2-1 count if he gets a good pitch.
Yeah. Ooh, right in there.
Should be taken right here in a 2-1 count if he gets a good pitch. That was a little down though. 2-1, you're looking for a pitch in your sweet spot.
All right, he's seen 4 so far and looking to get aboard here. Put some early pressure on Luke Weaver. Target away. He missed on the other side of the plate, but it adds some action to it. 1 out.
Cards defense behind Luke Weaver. Today, Ozuna, Pham, Fowler, the outfield. DeYoung, Jerko, left side. Juan Martinez, right side. And Yadier Molina behind the plate. There's the newest Cardinal, Marcell Ozuna. Nats fans know him from Miami. Fantastic season last year. 37 home runs, 124 RBI for the Fish. I'm anxious to see Stanton, Yelich, and Ozuna in hitters' ballparks for the first time in their career.
Yeah.
Stanton in New York, Yelich in Milwaukee, and I guess Busch Stadium fair, right?
Yeah, once the weather warms up, you can do damage to all fields there.
I think Yelich is going to have a big year.
So Howie's 6 for 15, an RBI. Couple of strikeouts, 3 walks so far. To the left side for DeYoung. And Bryce having a good spring. He'll step in 8 for 23 with 4 batted in.
Bryce been getting a lot of hits the other way this spring.
And the wind has turned around. It's blowing just a slight breeze out of the west. It usually goes right toward that left field corner. Now usually that W is going the other way. So on an 0-1, they'll shift the shortstop to the other side of the second base bag.
Well, you talk about that, Carp. Last year, as I said, Weaver's ground ball percentage was 49%, but the batting average in balls in play was .335. So that tells me that maybe the shift wasn't in the best place all the time for him. He's getting a lot of ground balls, but they're going through.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, the dichotomy of the shift and a ground ball pitcher. Up and in, 2-1.
Some guys like it, some guys don't. Tim Bogar in charge of that for the Nationals, their first base coach, and he calls it positioning versus shifting. Just trying to get guys in the right place to catch the ball, basically.
2-1. That one ripped, and it's to the right side of the bag.
Check out the 2-1 hack again for Bryce Harper. A little quick, pretty good balance.
Full count. Anthony Rendon waiting.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Rolls it over to Martinez on a couple of ground balls after a strikeout. A 1-2-3 for Luke Weaver. Mass and crew on yesterday's travel day, enjoying themselves, getting ready for a big league telecast today.
That's how you got here yesterday.
Cardinals here in West Palm Beach. Steven Strasburg joining me now as Tanner Roark's out for his second inning of work. Steven, good to see you as always. You've had a handful of managers now in your time as a National. Davey Martinez, your newest one. What's camp been like under him, and what have you made of your new skipper?
Yeah, it's been great getting a chance to know all the coaches. They all seem like high character guys, guys that you can trust, and you know that's what we need. And you know it's going to be fun year.
Another pitching coach for you as well, and Derek Lilliquist. Nationals fans know him from his time with the Cardinals. He obviously worked with a really experienced staff there, a talented staff, and he's got the same here. How do you go about kind of building up a rapport or relationship with a new pitching coach when he comes aboard in spring training?
Yeah, I think it's just you know, building a relationship one day at a time. You know, getting a chance to pick his brain when you can. You know, I guess the team's kind of been getting whittled down a little bit, so kind of more to the core group of guys that we're going to have during the season. But again, you know, it's just getting the work in, you know, having that open dialogue, talking about what you're trying to work on, trying to get some feedback, trying to, you know, tell them what we want them to look for, and you know, just keep it rolling.
Does much change for you or for any starter when you have a new pitching coach, or is it kind of you go about your business the same and it's just about having that trust and taking various tidbits from that pitching coach as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, Lily's really good, and he's been around the game a long time, and you know, former first round pick out of Georgia, and you know, he obviously had a very good MLB career. So I think it's, you know, for me, I try and pick everybody's brain, and you know, he's another one that, you know, I just try and take everything I can from him and implement what I can. And again, it's the ball's in my hands, so it's up to my job to execute and do my part.
Steven, you're obviously focused on 2018, but you had such a strong 2017, especially down the stretch and into the postseason. Is there anything that can carry over from one year to the next when you've had so much success, or is it really new year, you hit the reset button and you got to, go from scratch?
Yeah, it's a new year, and I think it's you're always going to deal with the ups and downs of the roller coaster ride of the season, and I think the important thing is to keep that tunnel vision, focus on the positive, and again it's trying to evolve and adjust, because we're all getting older, the game's changing a little bit, and we have to adapt.
You have always had your eyes on postseason and making those starts when it really matters in October. And Nationals fans' last memory of you was on the mound in Wrigley Field in Game 4 when you delivered an absolute gem. How much, if at all, did you think about that start in the offseason? And is that a start that you really care about now that it's over, or is it just kind of you put it in the past?
Yeah, I think it's everybody likes to bring it up, and it's definitely a special moment in my career and for my family. As of right now, though, there's a new season. There's always going to be another game, another start to prepare for. So I'm just trying to build off of what I was working on last year, and keep working hard and focus on the things I can control.
Home runs are such a big part of the game from an offensive perspective. Guys posting huge elevated home run numbers, and it seems like with uppercut swings and guys kind of trying to work on launch angle and all that, it's a huge element. You only allowed 13 home runs all of last season and just 2 in the second half. What did you do last year that you think allowed you to keep the ball in the ballpark so effectively?
I don't really know. I think you got to focus on what you can control. It doesn't really work to your favor when you're trying to get ground balls or trying to keep them in the yard. The focus for me is executing, and if I can execute the pitch and be aggressive in the strike zone, I'll take whatever happens. There's guys that are going to put good swings on the ball. Sometimes they're going to hit good pitches, and then there's going to be times where you're going to get away with bad pitches. That's baseball, so you really can't look into the result too much. You really just got to focus on your part, and that's the approach, and being consistent with that.
Another spring training with all your teammates, including your buddy Gio Gonzalez, who I know you like to joke with from time to time, like to nip at him. And I heard he bought a boombox into the clubhouse, an enormous one, from what I've been told. What do you got on that?
Yeah, that's Gio for you. No, I think it looked good on the website, but then when it showed up, he didn't realize how big it was. And it's got this nice shoulder strap, but the thing's like 60 pounds, so I don't know how good the shoulder strap is. I don't know who's going to carry it, but I'm not. So
we don't want anybody landing on the DL because of a boombox injury from throwing that thing over their shoulder.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's loud, that's for sure. But we'll see how many trips it makes.
Steven, thanks so much for the time, and we're excited for 2018 with you.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Bob?
All right. Having a little fun with Steven Strasburg. Well done, Dan. Everything looks better online before you buy it, right?
I picked that thing up in the clubhouse today. It is 60 pounds. Huge.
Wow.
We were showing the highlights of Game 4, and our mics are cut off. And they're showing his stuff. I'm up here laughing, just watching the curve and the change. And he could have very easily, but that's not Steven Strasburg's style. Told Dan, well, the reason I keep the ball in the ballpark is I throw 98. I have the nastiest curve in the game and a changeup that's just as nasty to go with it.
By the way, Tanner Roark, the changeup this inning, struck out Jerko, got a ground ball for Wong. That Fowler fly ball ends the top of the second.
Stepping
Hot dogs. I think you had, how many today, Carp, before the game?
1.5 today.
Well, the over-under was 2, so if you had the under and Bob Carpenter hot dogs eaten, you win. 2-0 Cardinals will go to the bottom of the second. Join the Nats for spring training at 15 Ballpark of the Palm Beaches. You can discover the Palm Beaches and West Palm Beach, second home of your Nats. National Spring Training tickets are on sale now. Visit nationals.com for more details.
Yeah, I may have to try the burger basket on Tuesday. Get back to the dogs on Friday. Pretty cool when you can plan out your whole week down here. Anthony Rendon, 15 at bats this spring, 3 hits. Weaver with a sharp breaking ball that missed. 6 Ks, 2 walks for Anthony. Montero and Robles to follow here in the second. St. Louis is 6-8. The Nats are 7-7. Game 15 here out of roughly 30. Hard to believe that 3 weeks from now we'll be in Cincinnati.
Well, we talked about the loose camp that Davey Martinez is having with the Camels and getting over the hump, embrace the hump, that whole thing. Did you hear what they did this week in camp?
I heard they were celebrating walk-off homers.
They practiced the walk-off homer trots. And Davey saying, hey, someone's going to do it, so you might as well practice. So everybody got at home plate, and they practiced their trots on walk-off homers, including guys beating them at home plate celebrating.
Interesting.
Well, it's fun, but it's also, when you think about the sports psychology of it, it's putting good thoughts into your head, right?
Mm-hmm. Nationals had 3 walk-off homers last year. Probably the most memorable, Howie Kendrick's walk-off grand slam. Did Rendon stop? He has an uncanny ability to do that, and he keeps the at-bat alive. 3-2.
Shocked that you even asked, Carp.
I didn't appeal.
They never call it. He never goes.
I tried to wave off the first base umpire. By the way, Angel Hernandez, Andy Fletcher, and Chris Conroy on the bases today with C.B. Buckner behind the plate. Rendon makes a loud sound with that one. Ball still going, and it's pulled in by Tommy Pham well onto the track. Ball went about 400 feet.
It's one that's frustrating during the season if you're Anthony Rendon. You did everything right. You squared the ball up. You hit it far. But during spring training, that's what you're looking for. Barrel to baseball, good contact, good hard contact, and a nice sound off the bat. A nice play by Tommy Pham.
Miguel Montero, 13th year in the big leagues. Most of that with his Arizona. Signed with them when he was 17. Big league level for the D-backs from 06 through the 14 season. And when he wrapped up his career in Arizona, he was the only major league catcher who caught at least 1,000 innings 4 consecutive years. Now, while he did that, he hit 282, 286, was hurt one year, hit 230, and then 243. ID's the breaking ball, 2-1. Blue Jays picked him up last year after he was let go by the Cubs. Played 32 games in Toronto. Nats signed him on February 1st.
Doesn't get cheated when he's heading the count. Should be a healthy swing if it's in the zone.
Big gap in right center. It was a big swing, and Weaver went off speed on him. And by the way, we've already had Steven Strasburg. Next inning, Mike Rizzo will join us here in the booth, and later, Dan and Max. 4th inning. Fastball up, another long count.
Star-studded lineup for you today.
Yeah. Yeah, both sides, really. The advantage of the road team only having to travel about 10 or 12 miles. Oh, yeah, and Dan has a good lineup, too.
It works for both.
Yeah, it's about time we checked in with our GM. Three-two with one out, and that ball out to center as well. Shorter route this time for Tommy Pham, 2 down. So the ground ball pitcher's been hit hard in the air a couple of times this inning. And Victor Robles will be next.
Are you going to ask him if he's talking to a pitcher that rhymes with Marionetta?
Well, the one that rhymes with pin signed with Minnesota 2 days ago.
Lance Lynn signed.
Lance Lynn. Supposedly the Twins had offered him 2 years for 20. He signed 1 year for 10. And he'll help that ball club. That's a good ball club up in Minnesota. Robles, 2-hopper, Jed Jerko. Nats 6 up, 6 down. The GM is on the way. St. Louis 2-0 early in West Palm. Beautiful ballpark, beautiful day. Today's game gets us halfway through the spring training contests. Pham, Martinez, and Ozuna. Tanner Roark, by the way. First 2 innings, 32 pitches, 19 strikes. And we are joined by Mike Rizzo. Great to see you, sir.
Hey, great to see you guys down here.
Well, this is we're going to be here all week, so you're going to be fed up with us by Friday.
I'll be tired of you by then.
But Tuesday and Friday we'll televise.
Great.
We never get tired of talking to you, though.
No, of course not.
And so anyway, first of all, address your observations of Davey Martinez run spring training so far, and how you perceive everything is working together here.
Yeah, I think it's I would describe it as kind of a real attention to detail, a lighthearted attention to detail. That's kind of the way I would put it. It's all the drills that we're doing are your typical drills. You know, we're doing cutoffs and relays, bunt plays, but there's a different spin to it. He puts kind of like a little bit of a work ethic type of thing, but it's fun. He makes it fun. There's always he's always got some kind of competition going on. You know, there's pools and stuff for relay races and that type of thing. And you know, we kind of fool the players that they're getting their work done and they may not know it.
Yeah, having fun while they're doing it. He's
Exactly.
talking about a bunting competition with the starting pitchers.
Exactly.
Isn't it great, though, to see a young manager come in, his first chance to do this? These are probably things he's been thinking about for a lot of years, and of course he had Joe Madden as his boss. And I just think it's fascinating, Mike, to see a young guy like this come in and try to do innovative, fun things.
It's really fun to watch his you know, the way he's developed as a baseball kind of a team leader, executive type of guy. He's got a bunch of different ideas. He's very refreshing. It's very fresh, and it's it's something that it's no nonsense, but it's get your work done, have a good time doing it, and it's all good work. It's not a lot of work.
And there's a method to it, right? With the camels getting over the hump, the walk-off home run, trot practice. You're putting positive thoughts into players' heads.
That's it. We from the first meeting we had down here in December when we made all the changes and the staff was put together. That was priority one. We were not going to have any negative thoughts in these players' heads. It's all going to be positive. The whole training staff, the whole coaching staff, the managers, the front office. There's not a negative word spoken. It's all positive, looking forward.
3-2 by Tanner Roark, and he gets a ground ball. Right side, Matt Reynolds. All right, Mike, Tanner's made a bit of a change in his mechanics here. A piece chronicled it well. What do you see from him so far? Because today, that was ground ball out number 5, and he has a strikeout.
He's kind of a keep it simple type of approach to it. He wanted to get more consistency, locate his fastball and his other pitches. So he kind of simplified his delivery. We saw Strauss doing the same thing. I've seen several pitchers that we faced so far kind of working on the same type of thing, just kind of simplifying the delivery and making it simple and concentrating on throwing strikes.
Well, what he does so well out of the stretch too is he varies his deliveries. So Steven did it last year. When you're pitching exclusively out of the stretch, or a varied version of the stretch, you can rush a hitter with nobody on, maybe quick pitch him, slide step him, vary your times to the plate, and that disrupts timing more than a windup does. I always thought it was harder hitting against a pitcher out of the stretch than it was out of the windup.
I think for him also it's not only keep it simple, but it's also part of what he's trying to do is get himself into a rhythm, and pitching is all upsetting hitters' timing, and I think that's a big part of it, and that's part of his formula.
1-1 to Jose Martinez, who hit that long home run. Pulls it this time. Trey Turner to his left. Another ground ball out.
All right, Riz, check it out. We got last year out of the windup, last year out of the stretch, and today in 3 boxes here. So last year, go ahead and roll it, guys. Top of the screen, Tanner out of the windup. Here he is. So that's his old delivery last year out of the windup. The bottom is last year out of the stretch. He strikes out Cargo here. Check out Cargo after this at bat. He's a little bit frustrated. That bat is not good. And then here's this year to the right.
Yeah, the big thing about that is, oftentimes pitchers lose stuff out of the stretch because they're trying to be quick to the plate, hold runners on, control the running game, that type of thing. And the good thing about Tanner is he doesn't lose a lot of stuff, velocity, movement, spin rate, and all that stuff from the stretch. And I think that was a big part of the reason that he's allowed himself to do this from what would typically be a windup position.
So this is permanent. He's not tinkering with this. This isn't a spring training thing, or is there still a decision to be made as he gets close to opening day?
He's a real student of pitching and a guy that knows his craft, and I haven't discussed it with him. I didn't discuss this part of it with him. It's to me is whatever he thinks is helping him, and that's kind of my approach to it.
Yeah, it's working.
1-2 to Marcelo Zuna.
I'm a much better pitcher and hitter from up here than I would be down there. So
if I would have wore makeup in the box, I'd have been a 300 hitter. So, I mean, the big elephant in the room is the free agents that are left out there, and what a weird year it's been for the guys on the market. Any thoughts to why it's played out this way?
I don't. I really don't. We signed a lot of free agents this year. We just did our business and our shopping early and got the players that we really identified and wanted.
See, I asked you that with 2 strikes and 2 outs. You got to give me a high five for that after.
Hey, Mike, can we get you for a couple more outs in the next half inning?
Love to. Let's do it.
More with Mike Rizzo straight ahead.
The prestige.
Of the third inning for the Nats, Marmolejos, Rayburn, and Reynolds. All right, Mike Rizzo, this is your 10th season. Do you find that a little hard to believe? You're a decade now with the Nats coming up here.
10th year as a GM. It was my 12th as with the team, and yeah, I mean, the day-to-day kind of goes slow, but time does fly by. It's been remarkable to see the transformation of the franchise and the organization. The talent on the field, and just the day-to-day business that we've kind of learned on the fly to do.
Hey, Mike, how about a couple of quick updates? First of all, Daniel Murphy and then Adam Eaton.
Murph, the good thing about Murph is, he's coming along at his own pace. He's a guy who knows his body very, very well. He'll give us the straight scoop on how he's feeling, and which is a good thing. And he's doing baseball activities. He's taken BP the last couple of days. He's taken ground balls. Those are all good signs. And he's on pace to be prepared for opening day. We're still optimistic about that, and we feel that he'll be ready. And once he's ready, we're going to make sure he's fully ready 100%, because it's he's a guy that's going to carry us for a long way during the season.
And a guy like Adam Eaton's definitely not giving you the straight scoop. He's ready right now as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, he's farther along than Murph. Obviously, he's played some games on the minor league, on the backfields in the minor leagues, and you know how those go up. He can get 20 at bats a day if you want to. He can lead off every inning, and he's coming along at a good pace. He's going to start playing the big league games soon.
What do you got on Marmolejos right now? I've seen him a couple of times. He's got a big league swing.
Oh, he can rake, man. He's a good left-handed hitter. He's kind of a line drive, gap-to-gap guy with sneaky power, and just a real accomplished kind of a professional hitter at a young age. And he's a work in progress in the outfield for sure. And first base, he's getting better. And we told him in his marching orders are, you got to be a two-way player, or it's a bench duty for you. So he's working on it, and he's come a long way as a first baseman also.
Had him hit a long ball here. We were here on Tuesday, and watch this baby fly.
Got a nice sound. That was loud.
Yeah, it's a high changeup. He did what high changeups are supposed to happen. He hit it hard and hit it out. And but notice it wasn't a big pull swing, and he went right up the middle with it with the pitch, and he's got a good approach to hitting. 25 years of age and a two-time Nationals minor league player of the year. Here's Ryan Rayburn fighting for a roster spot. And a little conversation here, C.B. Buckner and Yadier Molina.
This is a trip.
Yadier says, okay, this is our first visit, right? So, Mike, your thoughts on all of this stuff to try to speed up the game? Yeah, I like to speed up rules. I mean, to me, the times of the games are not nearly as important as the pace of the game and how we're, how things are moving along. And CB just waved off a trip for some reason. I don't know why that wouldn't be a trip, but interesting.
It's because
it's kind of work in progress. We're the umps. We had a meeting with the umpires and Joe Torre and those guys at the beginning of spring training. We're still getting our feet wet with it, and hopefully it'll improve the pace of the game and the flow of the game, and there won't be as many trips to the mound by position players and catchers and that type of thing.
Maybe Molina gets a little more cachet with some of the umpires than other catchers will. We'll wait and see how it all works out. It's at Tanner Roark, man. He gets the ball. He's ready to go. We don't have to worry about it when he's on the mound. But there's a lot of things to think about this year.
Molina already manipulating the rule. We're in spring training. And he's one of the main culprits. Yes, Monty Grandal, the catcher from the Cubs.
Rayburn takes one in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We were on a conference call with Major League Baseball this week, and they were talking about how, and you've heard this too, Mike, they're not looking for it. They're not going to be like meter maids when the parking meter runs up, write you a ticket. But, if there's 4 trips an inning by a catcher, that's what they're trying to avoid. The umps aren't looking for it. And then on the 7th trip, apparently, the ump calls you back. If it has to be a pitching change if it's somebody from the dugout. If it's a catcher or a position player, the ump calls you back. And if you continue to go out there, they can eject you from the game.
Correct. That's the way it was explained to me, and although they're not going to be meter maids and that type of thing, we're counting trips, and we've got a counter in the dugout, and it's going to be there's going to be a strategy involved in it, and you're going to have to we're going to have to learn how we're going to react to maybe wasting or quote unquote wasting a trip, or you know, what constitutes a trip? I mean, how important does this situation have to be for somebody to take one of those?
Yeah, kind of like maybe some coaches in other sports having to choose when they do a challenge or throw that flag or whatever. I think you saw one of the keys in that number 2 paragraph there was someone leaving his position to go to the mound. So a lot to keep track of. Here's Matt Reynolds, 4 for 20.
If you're a pitcher and you leave your position to go talk to a shortstop, that's considered a mound visit. So if you walk off the mound and you walk toward the shortstop and you guys have a conversation somewhere in the middle, that's a mound visit.
And there's going to be discretion with the umpire what constitutes it. You know, Rendon walks towards the mound with Rourke pitching every time there's an out and tosses him the ball softly, and that's not constituted as a trip. So I think that a trip is going to be according to what the umpire's discretion is, and I think that will be you know what we're trying to figure out.
And you might actually have to go over bench players in the scouting report. Now, you know, pitching coaches like to run out when a pinch hitter comes up for the pitcher and go over like a mini scouting report to the pitcher. That might not be able to happen this year.
Or you're going to have to strategically save some of those for later in the game if later is more important than early in that particular game.
Off-speed pitch slowing down the bat of Matt Reynolds, so it looks like 9 in a row for Luke Weaver. Hey, Mike, great to see you. Thanks for your time. We always appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
President GM Mike Rizzo. The Nats getting ready for 18.
Hi.
Big guns here today. Max, great to see you. And you had a big change over the winter. This is not a change that Nationals fans should fear. You welcomed little Brooklyn into your lives. You are now a father. How is fatherhood treating you?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I got a little girl at home, so life is definitely different. It's a lot more chaotic. So my wife and I were doing good, just a little less sleep.
Probably true to say a little less sleep. That's accurate. Max, it's kind of weird to think about it, but this time last year, you were throwing pitches with 3 fingers. And you had that stress fracture injury in your hand coming into spring. And despite that injury, you were still able to go at the beginning of the season, and you had a Cy Young campaign. I know you like looking ahead as compared to looking back, but is that at all strange to you that you were dealing with that injury so late into spring and then you were able to bounce back and post the year that you did?
Well, it was just one of those things you had to continue to keep finding new ways for me to be able to get out there and, you know, get to my normal reps. No matter how I was holding the ball, and it just showed that you can accomplish anything, you know, while you might be nicked up a little bit. But this spring train, man, I feel great. I don't have to do any of that. You know, I can hold the ball with 2 fingers, and you know, I'm working on everything. So I feel really good about where I'm at, and yeah, 3 more starts before I'm out there for the regular season.
Now, you feel good about where you're at personally, but talking to everyone around this Nationals team this spring, it seems like everyone feels great about where this team is at under a new coaching staff with Davey Martinez, and it seems like his style of handling spring training kind of fits in with how you approach things. You like working hard, you like getting after it, you like having some fun along the way as well. Is that a fair assessment that Davey and his spring kind of matches up with how you like to attack things?
Yeah, that's one way to put it. No, yeah, like you said, we've been out there, addressing where we need, the things we need to work on, and as a team fundamentals, you name it, everything we've done on the backfields. But we've also had fun. It reminds me of in 2014, the first-year manager, and Brad Osmus. He came to, after Leland. We had a lot of fun. That was a nice veteran clubhouse, and so when you have veterans in clubhouse, they know how to get their work done. It seems to bode really well, and you also bring some shenanigans to spring training.
Shenanigans indeed, as the Cardinals played another one here in the fourth. And I was told, a little birdie told me, that you were a huge fan of the camels that Davey Martinez brought, that you absolutely loved that move.
Yeah, when he said, he kind of tipped his hand a couple days earlier that he was thinking about doing that, and I was like, oh, please, 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 this would be awesome. So sure enough, and there's 3 camels out there, and we're walking in to give them high fives, and one of them's named Blondie, so you can't teach that.
Nobody could have predicted that you would be dealing with a camel named Blondie during one of your workouts in spring. Now, I got some information as well. A little birdie told me this, that there is a little bit of a question as to the status of your jet skis. What can you give us on this?
Well, see, your little birdie, I know his name. So for everybody out there, your little birdie's named Sean Kelly. And when you invite one of your friends over to, have some fun on the water or whatnot, and he wants to use your jet skis, you assume that your little birdie friend is going to, be nice and put the jet skis up and make sure that they don't, leave or anything. And the next morning, I saw my jet skis were out on the other side of the intercoastal here because he didn't, raise the boat lift high enough. And high tide, and that's a thing around here in Florida. You learn that in spring training, that high tide comes up and then they take your jet skis out and they're on the other side of the, intercoastal on rocks and everything. So, yeah, that little birdie had a little mistake in spring training too.
He is not taking any ownership for that mistake, by the way, just for the record. Now, back to baseball real quick, Max. You talk all the time about how you go into a year trying to make adjustments and to improve yourself. You're coming off a year where you won a Cy Young. You've got a couple of those in the bank now, 3 of them. Where does that mentality come from, that you proactively want to get better each year as compared to just trying to ride out what's been so effective for you for so long?
I think it really goes back to 2011 for me. 2011, actually 2010. 2010, I really thought I made some changes in my game where I really thought I solidified myself as a quality major league pitcher. But I think in 2011, I came with the attitude into that year of trying to get better. I just thought of just showing up and I'd be a good pitcher. And 2011 was my worst year. And after that year, I remember heading into 2012, that I was really going to make some changes and really try to improve myself. And throughout the course of spring training and early in that year, I really felt like I did. I really felt like I solidified my slider and was even able to add a curveball. And when I then took that mentality into 2013, everything came into place and I really pitched as well as I possibly could. And I've held on to that mentality ever since. Nothing changes no matter how good or bad you do. You always have to keep finding ways to get better. And here we are in 2018 now. I'm looking to get better, and there's things I'm doing. I think I can do that.
Now, I know you well enough to know that if I ask you a generic question here about how you're going to try and improve for 2018, I'm going to get a, you're not telling me anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a really generic answer. So, you got to be a good interview right now. So let's test your skills. It's spring for you.
Okay.
So what are you going to ask?
You've been working on a 2-seamer with Brandon Kinsler. How has that pitch come along for you, and do you see that as a weapon that you could implement this season? How'd I do?
I will say you're on the right track, but I have worked on a 2-seamer. Working with Ken, he obviously has a great sinker. But I've also realized within my mechanics that I can't sink the ball. I don't know why. We've identified, I've worked with Ken. Kinsler has great mechanics to throw a sinker, and I have a great mechanics to throw a 4-seamer. So I will not be featuring a two-seamer this year.
Fair enough. I'll ask you a physical question. You still have a lot left in the tank, but all of us, we're getting older as each year goes on.
You're really getting old.
I know, yeah. A couple grays up top. How have you physically adapted your workout plan either in the off season or during the season, and how do you feel like those adaptations have benefited you as we go forward?
I will start by saying this, that I haven't changed. I'm still trying to run and lift as hard as I ever have. Trying to still push, every mile and every, squat, trying to do as much as I can. But in that same breath, I understand there's times where, look, I am a little older now. And there's certain times like, hey, your hip kind of feels a little tired than usual, or, there's something, you kind of have little nicks that seem to jump up, and you just kind of listen to your body. Just listen to what you can do. And if there's a day you need a blow, there's a day you take off. You don't do as much. But if you're full go, I'm out there going to work as hard as I ever have.
Anything else you want to drop before we call this interview off?
This is your interview, so
yeah, I know.
Your skills for 2018.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I've got all my questions out here, so I think I'm good. If you're good, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Thanks for the time, Max. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bob?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Max Scherzer, single walk in this fourth inning for Tanner Roark, who's already up around 60 pitches. He gets a potential double play ball. And Trey Turner not able to get it turned in time. That flip by Reynolds took a little while to get there. Colton Wong runs well, so a runner to third, Molina, first out of the inning.
Well, in a regular game, this could be a big play. You see Reynolds charging it, then he gives a low soft feed to Trey Turner, almost like a changeup when you're not expecting it, so Trey had to reach low for it. And you saw Matt maybe flat-footed right there, didn't have a lot of momentum going into the feed. That's why the feed kind of died at Trey Turner's ankles and the double play wasn't turned. That could be dangerous. Maybe not as dangerous as it used to be when guys could take you out.
True.
But still dangerous.
23-year-old Jairo Munoz, base hit first time up.
Yeah, the reason that'd be big, Carp, you'd have a runner on third and 2 outs now instead of a chance for a potential RBI without a hit.
Runner goes at first, and that'll take away the double play, but there's a play at home because Molina just is not a fast runner at all. 6-2-5 on the fielder's choice, and Yadier Molina will end up trading places with Colton Wong, who gets to third. 2 outs, though. Knowing who the runner is and bringing the ball home.
Well, Colton Wong went on the play, so now the double play's off. And Trey Turner knew that Wong was going. The ball wasn't hitting hard enough maybe to turn a double play on top of that. So a smart play, a heady play by the Nats shortstop of going home. He knew the speed of Molina. He knew the runner, Colton Wong, was going on the play, so there's no force out, no double play. So he throws it home from a deep shortstop position to get Molina and keep the score right where it's at, 3-0. Nice play by Trey Turner.
Top of the order now, Nats into a shift for Dexter Fowler. Bouncing ball, and the only man on that side of the infield, Anthony Rendon, right there. So, Tanner Roark, good job to get out of the inning. Turner leads off. Trey straight ahead. staff. Calvin Coolidge.
I'm just laying out and letting the crowd take you home on that one.
And the Gecko choosing not to get involved, just holding the tape with Screech. Herbert Hoover wins it. Now back to baseball.
Well, here's the fielder's choice we're talking about. Watch Colton Wong at the top. He's running on the play. So now what might have been a double play ball because he didn't get out of the box well isn't because the runner is going. At shortstop, you never practice that long throw from deep shortstop to home. Every time you make that play as a shortstop, you know, your feet are on the grass, you're cutting off the run at home. So, yeah, it's something to talk about in spring training. Just a nice heads-up play by Trey Turner with a lot of different things going on at once. Very nice.
Slowing down the game, right?
Slowing down the game.
Trey struck out swinging, first batter to face Luke Weaver. So here we are in the fourth, and the young man's been perfect so far.
And Carp, getting back to Trey Turner taking pitches, you know, there's a way to take pitches. You just don't take them for taking pitches' sake. What you do as a hitter is, we used to call it keyhole in a pitcher. What's that mean? You make the pitch be through a keyhole. You're looking in one spot, one location. And everything else it's hit, hit, hit in that spot, no. Hit, hit, hit in that spot, no. So invariably you're taking pitches, but you're taking them away to be patiently aggressive, is what I used to call it as a hitting coach. You're looking for one pitch, one spot, and if it's not there, you're taking it. So, for instance, I'm looking fastball, belt tie, inner third. Everything else I'm taking. So that way you're patient because you're looking for a specific pitch in a specific zone. And there's some advantages to getting into counts. You look at the 1-1 count, okay? The next pitch to me is the most critical of that bat. 1-2 count, you're hitting 159. So if it's a strike, look at the average. If it's a ball, 2-1, you're in the driver's seat. And look at the 3-0 count at 414. Maybe some more hitters should feel comfortable swinging in a 3-0 count. But
Weaver holds on too long, 2-2.
Everybody used to say the Oakland A's take pitches. That's their thing. They're going to take pitches. They didn't take pitches per se, but they just look for one pitch.
Yeah, it's a plan.
It could be the first pitch. You're looking in that zone. There it is. I'm ready to hit. Boom, double in the gap.
Right.
It could never come, and you walk. So that's the way you're patient.
C.B. Buckner thought about it. Trey's not happy. Molina was set up on the inside edge. That ball went the other side, and Buckner did a double take and punched him out.
So setting up in, looked like a cut fastball away. Molina reached all the way across the plate. You can kind of see why Trey Turner's upset.
Yeah. I hope Jason Worth didn't see that at bat.
Him and CB are...
Well, Jason got tossed out in Atlanta last year. I think it was a 6-pitch at bat, and there wasn't a whole strike in the whole thing, and he got punched out.
Yeah, everybody has bad days.
Here's Howie Kendrick. You hardly ever see an umpire do that when the pitch totally misses the side of the plate where the catcher was set up. Molina away this time. Howie can't get to it. 0-2. Good off-speed pitch by 24-year-old Luke Weaver. He was 7-2 in 10 starts for them last year. They have a really young pitching staff other than Adam Wainwright and Michael Wacha.
And to kind of wrap that patiently aggressive thing up, Carp, you have to be comfortable with hitting with 2 strikes. You can't be afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And a call like that could change Trey Turner's whole outlook on going deep into counts. You'll hear guys say, forget that, I'm not hitting with 2 if he's going to call that. I'm going to be aggressive early in the count.
Target way in here. And the pitch very close. Molina tried to pull it up and frame it. Good take by Howie. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Off speed, got him. 3 of the last 4 struck out by Weaver, 4 on the day.
Don't miss opening weekend in Nats Park. Kick off the 2018 season with a weekend series against the Metropolitans. To get your tickets, visit nationals.com. opening weekend at the ballpark, April 7th, 1:05, April 8th. That's an ESPN game at 8:08.
Sammy Solis will work today. Sean Doolittle was also on the list, along with Brian Harper from the left side. Right-handers included Edwin Jackson, Brandon Kinsler, and Sean Kelly.
That's the new ESPN crew, isn't it? A-Rod and J-Lo doing the games?
Sounds like Entertainment Tonight to me.
I mean, I'd watch.
They are the entertainment and sports programming network. Target away on 1-0. Boy, that off speed really working for Weaver now. 1-1 to Bryce, who pulled it. Had a couple of swings, fouled a pitch off, and pulled one to first base his first time up. Nothing for the Nats so far. .64 pitches, 38 strikes for Tanner Roark. And Luke Weaver pitching to no contact and then some soft contact. This one to the fifth.
Cardinals as we go to the top of the fifth inning. Luke Weaver dealing so far for the Cards. Tanner Roark with his new delivery went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out a couple, walked a couple. I think what you hang your hat on if you're Tanner Roark, maybe not this pitch to Martinez. He wanted to bury this down in. He got 9 ground ball outs today. So, you know, you talk about spring training. It's not about the results. It's about getting back to your, you know, your delivery, feeling comfortable with it, your new delivery, I should say, and the behind-the-back play. I think he's going to win a Gold Glove someday as a pitcher. He's one of the best fielding pitchers, if not the best, in the National League. So, like I said, not results as far as the score goes in the hits, but 9 ground ball outs is something to hang your hat on if you're Tanner.
64 pitches, 38 strikes. Here's Sammy Solis. And this spring for Sammy, it'll be his 5th appearance, 4.5 ERA, 4 hits in 4 innings, couple of runs. 6 Ks, though, no walks. Tommy Pham, 30 years of age, just had a birthday this week. You talk about a late bloomer. At the age of 29 last year, he had a fantastic season. He was hoping for a better payday. The Cardinals in a position to renew his contract. That happened last week. Good young player. And Dan, the Nats hope that a healthy Sammy Solis will be a big part of this bullpen.
They certainly do, Bob. He's shown that he can be very effective at the big league level when healthy. There are a couple spots up for grabs in the Nationals bullpen when it comes to their left-handed relievers. Andy Romero in the mix, Matt Grace in the mix, Sammy Solis in the mix as well. He does have a minor league option remaining, though. He has a 4th option, which means the Nationals can send him down without exposing him to waivers, something that might work against him, actually.
Trey's got to unleash one, and he did it on target. requiring a bit of a reach by Marmolejos, but a very long shortstop play.
So Trey Turner likes the jump play on the slow roller when he's coming in. He also likes it going in the hole. Check out the arm strength from the Nationals shortstop going away from the play. A little jump, square your shoulders up in mid-flight and let it rip right on the money to Marmolejos at first. Nice play again by Trey Turner, flashing some leather here today for the Nats.
Here's Marcell Ozuna.
Sammy talking about in the Washington Post this week about how he couldn't feel his hand last year while he was pitching. Chelsea Janes had a nice article on it, how he went and saw somebody that said it's not your arm, it's your neck and your back.
Wow.
That's causing the no feeling in your hand. Can you imagine being a pitcher and not feeling your hand?
No. Outside, 1-2.
He went to a naturopath. Is that how you say it? Naturopath?
There you go.
Or a witch doctor.
Wow.
I call him witch doctor.
Fastball away, and a slam of the bat by Marcell Ozuna. Anthony Rendon starts off the bottom of the 5th. Nothing across for the Nats, but they will be facing a new pitcher in just a moment. The Nats are committed to providing you the best fan experience in the DMV with our new Curly W commitment. Purchase your tickets at Nationals.com to get the most out of your visit to Nationals Park. Yeah, not just the game, but the whole experience. Nationals.com. Check it out. Austin Gomber, 0 ERA so far. They like him a lot, the St. Louis organization.
And number 9 prospect in the Cardinals organization. Big, tall left-hander, supposed to have a nasty curve.
24 years of age, Winter Garden, Florida native. Fourth rounder 4 years ago. Near the line, fair ball. The Nats have their first hit, and guess who? And just, I'll let you guess how many bags. Anthony Rendon, beautiful job of staying on it the other way.
Yeah, nice job of staying on that curveball. Hit the ball hard his first time up to deep center field. Tommy Pham went back to the wall to make a nice catch. This time, a double down the line, and there goes the no-hitter in the 5th inning for the Nats.
Everybody in Nats country can breathe easy now. They got to hear it. Here's Miguel Montero up there pumping. Fly ball to center field for the second out 3 innings ago. Over and low, 1-1. There he is, Sean Doolittle for the 6th.
It was so cool last year, fans chanting "do" when he came into every game.
Yeah, and this will be his first appearance on Masson. We're looking forward to that.
Are they having bullpen cards this year? Have they decided yet? I don't think they are. There's a lot of talk about it.
Well, they've decided the Camels are too slow. This one out to the deep gap in right center. Pham runs it down, and Rendon trots to third. Miguel Montero's hit the ball fairly well twice. Robles and Marmolejos the next two.
Nice at bat. Hit the ball right on the nose. And I'm not sure, but I think his manager was the first guy to shake his hand when he came back to the dugout after moving Anthony Rendon to third base with 1 out. I thought I saw Davey Martinez go all the way down to that end and shake his hand.
Yeah, doesn't have to be a ground ball, does it? Victor Robles hit a top spin grounder to third first time and jumps back from that.
Victor Robles has had a nice spring, especially defensively in center field, flashing the lever, making some web gems all over the place. Almost forcing his way onto this ball club, and you figure if Adam Eaton hasn't played yet, that this guy might be your opening day left fielder. He's a "I'm fine" Skip kind of player.
Yeah.
What does that mean? When you're hurt and you're playing in front of Victor Robles, you tell the skipper, "I'm fine, Skip. I can play. I don't want that kid in there."
Nobody wants to be Wally Pipp. Breaking ball on 3-0. There's that hook you talked about.
3-0 hook. A little respect there for the young Victor Robles. Maybe that's the only pitch he can throw for a strike, so he went with it.
8 for 33 this spring with 4 batted in. And Robles, that'll be deep enough easily to score Rendon. Cruising to it, Dexter Fowler. Nats are on the board as Victor Robles plates his 5th of the spring. Here's Arce Marmolejos.
Excuse me, Carp. That's nicely done by the Nats. Lead off double,
Yeah.
get him over, get him in, get into a 3-1 count. Use the whole field, use the big part of the ballpark. And get yourself a sac fly. Nice at bat, Victor Robles.
We just might have seen an example, FP, of how strong Robles is. I thought he got that ball right off the end of the bat, and the breeze probably helped it some. It carried about, I don't know, 350. Marmolejos bounced out to first to start off the 3rd inning. Austin Gomber getting the ball, and he's ready to roll. One hopper. Colton Wong. So the Nats opportunistic to get their first run of the day. The igniter was the Rendon double.
Harford County is
Tickets are on sale now. Check out that sky in the background, by the way. That's what center fielders look at. That's why it's so hard to catch a ball in spring training. You won't want to miss the best matchups and hottest giveaways of the season. Visit nationals.com to get your 2018 tickets. Yeah, high sky. Tough to see fly balls.
What a season last year for Sean Doolittle. 23 games in Oakland, 3.30 ERA, 3 saves. He comes with Ryan Madsen to the Nats. 2.40 ERA, 30 games, 21 saves, 31 strikeouts in those 30 innings, and he only allowed 22 hits.
Been tinkering with the slider down here. You remember last year, I think Matt Wieters in a real big situation called a 3-2 change, a pitch that Sean Doolittle rarely throws, especially in a 3-2 count. And he said, oh, what the heck, I'll try it. He got the strikeout. I can't remember against who and where, but it was a huge situation. And now he's adding the slider to his fastball changeup combination, a pitch he threw in college a lot.
Lots of changes defensively for the Nationals. Looks like everywhere but first base and catcher will get you set. Paul DeYoung walk and an opposite field double.
He's tinkered with the slider before. He's just trying to throw it more this year. Maybe we'll see one here. There it is.
Oh, a little double clutch there. And taken care of by, well, Reed Brignac was supposed to replace Trey Turner at short.
So check out the slider from Sean Doolittle. Nats fans haven't seen this. It was strictly fastball change last year when we saw him. It's just a different look. And even if he doesn't throw it that much, say he throws it 8% of the time, it gives you as a hitter something else to think about besides just going up there and sitting on a heater. I like it. Got a ground ball early in the count.
Carter Keyboom getting a little time at shortstop today. And in the air, left side off the bat of Yadier Molina. Ground ball snapped by Tanner Roark with that backhand stop back in the first inning. Then an RBI single in the fourth.
You just made up a word like I usually
Snapped.
do. Yeah, that's great. I thought I was the
I
only
couldn't
one.
make up my mind whether it was going to be snag or grab.
No, but I like it.
So he snapped it.
Yes.
You used to make up words all the time?
Well, I do on the broadcast all the time. You usually make fun of me. So kids, when you go to class on Monday, tell your English teachers you learned a new word, not from FP this time, but from Bob Carpenter, snapped. I like it. It's a good word. I'm going to use it.
Nice. 0-2 target way away. That's what Yadier Molina does. FP's been marveling at him for years. Great catch down there.
He snapped that one. Did you see that?
That ball was seriously snapped.
Nice snap.
Let it never be said we overdo anything on this show.
Just the
watch this snap.
Watch this snap. Yeah, and the celebration.
Throw it back. You crazy? That Larry the Cable Guy can play some defense. 0-2 with one out, and that's up and away. In on his hands to stay alive.
Did you see where the Cardinals have a game this year on April 11th against the Brewers that's going to be broadcast exclusively on Facebook?
Interesting.
Yes. They're usually on, what, Fox Sports Midwest, and now they're going to be on Facebook. Just Facebook. So you can go on there.
Somebody had to do a big-time reimbursing job for that. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Well, $30 million to Major League Baseball. And you go on there and like it? Maybe comment on politics while you're watching it?
Most do. On a breaking ball, popped up into short left center.
Show pictures of your new puppy dog?
It's Rafael Bautista out in center field now. Took care of that. So it's Ryan Rayburn still in left. Bautista and Moises Sierra in right. Carter Kieboom, Adrian Sanchez up the middle. Chris Dominguez, who was supposed to play some first base, is instead over at first, and Marmolejo still on the first base side.
You can unfriend the Brewers if you're a Cardinals fan.
They've already unfriended the Cubs. That happened generations ago.
I'm not a Facebook guy. I like Twitter and I like Instagram. And Snapchat messed everything up, so I guess it'll be fun.
You finally got me on last year.
Yes.
And the fans seem to like it. So again this year, we'll tweet the completed scorebook from every Nats game this season.
I like it.
Probably get it posted within 10 minutes or so after each game is over. Fans seem to like it. And it's funny when I hear from fans and they'll tweet me a picture of a game a couple months ago and say, hey, that was our first anniversary. We were at the ballpark. Fun things like that where people and their visits to the ballpark mean something personally to them. Had a lot of fun with it. We'll do it again. That's a take by Jed Jerko.
Usually he goes with the elevated fastball with 2 strikes. Tried to do it there. And did he hold up? That's a tough pitch to lay off as a hitter. It's right in your eyes. It looks big, and right when Jerko realizes it's out of the zone, he stops his swing.
2-2. Ground ball. Ball came up on Dominguez. And a great job by Marmolejos of keeping that from the warning track and to one bag. That'll be hit number 5 for St. Louis. Well, maybe number 6 if they rule it that way.
Yeah, nice play by Marmolejos to keep that in front of him. And that ball took a tricky hop right at the end. You come into a spring training game late, the water down infield starts to turn firm, and the cleat marks will actually harden, and you get bad hops late in the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call on the hometown or home team third baseman. Colton Wong is the hitter. A couple of ground balls off his bat against Tanner Roark today. Nationals tomorrow will be way up at Tiger Town up in Lakeland, Florida. AJ Cole will pitch against the Tigers. Or as Ernie Harwell used to call them, the Tigs.
Tigs.
Matt Adams, Wilmer Defoe, Brian Goodwin, and Victor Robles will be in that lineup tomorrow. Veterans will stay back here and get their work done. We'll be back with you on Tuesday. Oh, the bat gets beyond the screen, and you can hear it slam into the concrete at the far end of the Nats dugout.
Check it out.
By the way, that game on Tuesday, prime time. We'll have a 7 o'clock game for you. The Mets will be here from Port St. Lucie, and the Cardinals are back here for a day game on Friday here on Masson.
I always thought the toughest adjustment coming out of spring training wasn't, is your swing right? Do I feel good on defense as a pitcher? You're in shape. I thought the toughest adjustment coming out of spring was playing night games, when all of a sudden you're waking up at 6 in the morning for 2.5 months or 2 months. And then now you get to sleep in. Now the game starts at 7. It seems like forever to get to the ball game.
Pretty good gas by Doolittle there. So he pitches around the error, faces 4 batters, gets a ground ball, a fly ball, and a strikeout. The doctor in today. Part of the Grapefruit League here.
It's a state abbreviation for Arizona.
Well done. That ball's going to stay in play off the bat of Ryan Rayburn on one pitch. He's retired. Austin Gomber's still pitching for the Cardinals as we go to the 9th spot. Matt Reynolds still in there for the moment. And then the top of the order.
Nice running play down there in the corner by Dexter Fowler. Some sun involved. We talked about the high sky already.
Reynolds 0 for 1, fly ball to center back in the 3rd. Did he hold? Did not. That ball's got a sound to it. How far is it going? See you later. Matt Reynolds, his first home run in spring training as a Washington National. 3-2 game.
Had a nice sound to it, didn't it? Like a changeup out over the plate, caught it out front. Watch the extension after the swing. Landed on the berm, and now we got a 1-run game.
Top of the order, here's Moises Sierra.
Here's the sound. Beautiful sound.
Matt Reynolds has always had a good bat. Had a hard time finding playing time with the Mets. Nats traded for him a couple of weeks ago. Moises Sierra 9 for 25 this spring with a homer, 2 RBIs. That one handled by the shortstop DeYoung, and the 29-year-old Sierra grounds out. More on Matt Reynolds. Here's Dan.
Matt Reynolds, a very interesting guy because of his versatility, has played every position but pitcher and catcher at the major league level, so he can help the Nationals in a number of ways. I talked to him earlier today. He said he was obviously disappointed when finding out he'd been DFA'd by the Mets, felt that he maybe wasn't being valued by that organization, but he got a call from Sandy Alderson, the Mets GM, at 9 p.m. one night telling him he'd been traded to the Nats. His first reaction, heck yeah, he's fired up to be here.
University of Arkansas project, and from Dallas Keuchels High School out in Oklahoma. Here's Howie Kendrick. Howie the DH today. He has grounded to short and struck out swinging. Dexter Fowler. Wind might have helped it a little bit, able to pull it in. The Nats get a run closer. A 1-out jack by Matt Reynolds. As FB said, off-speed pitch, he got all of it. And the Nats have hit their 10th home run of the spring. It's 3-2 into the 7th.
You know, when you think about it, kicking a field goal in football
Cardinals 3, Nats 2. Washington on the board each of the last 2 innings. Well, these are our remaining 4 telecasts. Back with you Tuesday night, primetime game. The Mets will be here. Cardinals back for a 1 o'clock on Friday. And then we'll just have a couple of tune-ups for the World Series with those guys next door during the final week for us here in West Palm, including a 6 o'clock game on Friday, March 23rd. Brandon Kintzler, 33 years of age, Vegas guy, 27 games for the Nats last year, 25 Ks in 26 innings, and he pitched to a 3.5 ERA, a little below that.
All right, lefties hit 194 against Brandon last year, righties 293, so reverse splits for the right-hander out of the bullpen.
Looks like Adrian Sanchez now will appear at third base. Reed Brignac at second. Long throw. Bang from Sanchez, who can play all the infield positions and plays them well. Andrew Stevenson, who's gotten a lot of at-bats down here and done some starting, is now in left field. We'll see where they're all batting the next time the Nats roll around. We do know that Rafael Bautista will be leading off the inning in the 7th. Dexter Fowler 0 for 3, couple of ground balls, a fly to left. All of those at-bats against Tanner Roark. If you missed some or all of Tanner's outing today, he gave up a two-run homer in the first, but he pitched 4 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, a walk, a strikeout, 9 ground ball outs.
Good, shame on you if you missed it.
No excuses Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's right. Play like a champion, no excuses. Rule number 72.
Ball cutting in on the lefty, 1-1.
You know, I jinxed it before the ball game.
What'd you do this time?
I was praising Davey Martinez and how when we take a picture of the scorecard in the clubhouse, he already has the substitutes at every position. So as a broadcaster, that's heaven in spring training. We know who's going in, right?
Yeah, and we found out today he's got a good curveball.
He's got a
good off-speed pitch.
He's got a good 3-2 change because it's not like he wrote it.
Thanks, Davey.
I jinxed it. That's my fault. I was like, Bob, this is great. We know who's coming to the game. We don't have to guess. Our scorecards could be in somewhat decent shape by the end of the game. But hey, as the game goes on, things change. That's baseball.
FP, it's not the worst thing in broadcasting. I don't wish a spring football game on any announcer.
Oh, really?
Did a couple of those out at Oklahoma, and oh my. I feel sorry for the guy who does those in Nebraska with their walk-on program. Tommy Pham up there, first pitch, swinging. He's 1 for 3 with a double. So Brandon Kintzler looking for a quick 7th, and let's hope I just didn't jinx him.
No jinxing in
We're
spring.
trying not to work the jinx in too early here.
Can't jinx players in spring training.
Held up, it's a strike anyway.
Because it doesn't count. We loved Brandon Kintzler last year, mostly for the count you're seeing at the bottom of your screen. It seemed like every time he came out of the bullpen, you saw that count, 0-2.
Yeah. He was also brutally honest with Dan Coco last week when he called Max Scherzer's two-seamer rather mediocre.
Yeah, well, they're boys. He was being sarcastic with his good friend.
Kintzler has a very dry sense of humor that'll totally disarm you in a second. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blocked by Miguel Montero, who's still the only starter in the game. Three, 2 Cardinals, top of the 7th. '84 on the slider, 3-2. Fastball away, walked him.
Kinsler thought he had strike 3, tried a two-seam fastball away, tried to run it back for a called third, had a little walk back to his own dugout. He thought this was a strike. What do you think? Maybe he was watching Trey Turner's at bat and he thought that would be called.
Yeah, Trey in the 4th rung up on a pitch well outside by C.B. Buckner. Martinez, the 2-run homer, the big blow of the day. First inning after Tommy Pham had doubled. Martinez, 309, 14 homers, 46 RBIs. One of the main reasons that Matt Adams is now a Nat. Matt got traded on to Atlanta and then signed with Washington as that first base job got taken over. I think Matt Carpenter played a little bit of first base last year. They're still waiting for him to come back from some spring injuries. He's supposed to be back in their lineup, I think, in 2 days. Fastball rides up and away, 1-1.
What do you think umpires do in the offseason? Do you think they train?
Well, remember the scene with shoeless Joe Jackson covering one eye and staring at the candle with the other eye? Maybe, you know,
I'm just trying to think.
Keeping his batting eye sharp.
How did they get in shape for spring training?
Ball up the middle. I don't know, but one year we were in Vieira, and I think it was the only time in 2 years I made Don Sutton laugh. I asked him if umpires go through a dead eye period during spring training. As a former pitcher, he thought that was funny. St. Louis will have a pinch runner. Looks like Randy Arozarena. Marcell Ozuna slammed his bat down in frustration 2 innings ago when Sammy Solis struck him out. 0 for 3 today with a couple of Ks.
You know, sometimes as a veteran player, excuse me, Carp, you could ask for another at bat if, you know, maybe the skipper's saying, I'll get you 3 today, and you're not feeling good about your day. You're like, hey, Skip, can I get one more? Can I go up there and work on something? I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm in my uni. I'm playing. Can I get another at bat? So maybe that's what's going on. And I'll tell you what, besides the numbers, gotten to know Marcell Ozuna over the years when he was a Marlin, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, period.
Yeah, and he's expected to be the big bat. You could hear the chirping from the dugout. The Nats wanted to throw in behind the runner, and they got pretty close to Arozarena right there.
It's almost ring around the Arozarena at first base. Nice throw by Miguel Montero. I like the idea. You see where Dominguez is playing. He's way off the base. And they try to sneak in and get the cheap out. I like it. There's other outs out there besides the guy standing in the box.
Yeah. Okay. 1-2. Good downward movement by Brandon Kinsler.
So the Marlins signed Ozuna in 2008 as a 17-year-old for, get this, $32,000. Kyle Skipworth was the 5th pick in the draft that year in 2008. He signed for 2.3. Ozuna, an all-star Silver Slugger, 2-time all-star, signed for $32,000.
Never know, do you?
He's won a Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, twice an all-star. You just don't know.
Kind of sounds like the Mike Rizzo, Dan Uggla story out in Arizona. Didn't Riz sign him really cheaply, and he became a big-time, big-league home run hitter?
He's a Rule 5 draft pick. where if you don't protect them on the 40-man roster, they're available from a AAA roster. You pay a certain fee to get the player over in spring training. If he doesn't make your 25-man roster, he goes back to the team he came from.
Swing and a miss. Kinsler with a big-time breaking ball. A walk and a hit with 2 outs just north of here, Juno Beach, just up there above Jupiter. Just a wonderful area here in the Palm Beaches. Beautiful, beautiful Sunday.
Join T-Mobile.
Game here on a Sunday afternoon. 3-2 Cardinals. Jose Martinez hit a far one. Matt Reynolds just hit a far one. And Anthony Rendon hit the ball hard twice today. Had a double to show for it. Let's go back to the 6th and check out Matt Reynolds' first tater as a Washington National in spring training. The guy with the glove that made the running catch last broadcast isn't out there, but Matt Reynolds will take the tater. Nice swing. Had a changeup, and he knew what to do with it.
Sean Gilmartin last 3 years, and really all 3 years of his big league career with the Mets. So career 66 games, 4.14 ERA, 79 hits in 78 innings, 69 Ks. Only 2 games last year. He's a little beaten up, but 50 games his first year with the Mets back in 15.
Did you see what just happened between innings? And I don't know if it's because of it was the 7th inning or what was going on, but the catcher went out to Gilmartin and they talked a lot about their signs and what they were going to use. And maybe it's spring training, it doesn't matter, but during the season you get 2 minutes and 5 seconds to throw your warm-up pitches this year. It's a new rule. So it used to be 8 pitches. You come in out of the bullpen, you throw 8 pitches. Now it's however many pitches you can get from 2:05 to 20 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
So if you get 15 pitches in, you get 15 pitches in. If you get 2 in, you get 2 in. But every time a reliever comes in from the bullpen, the catcher always goes over what sign are we using with a runner on second. Because you can't remember all the relievers and what their nuances are, what sign they're comfortable with the runner on second base. And you talk to them. But if the clock is running, I'm wondering if that whole conversation between the catcher and the pitcher on the mound is going to take place during the season and how close they stick to that rule. That was on that conference call, too, this past week. I don't know if I love that. Just from the sense that if a relief pitcher's used to having his 8 warm-up pitches, it's part of his routine. You know, maybe I throw 3 fastballs or 4 fastballs, 2 changeups, 2 sliders, whatever it is. And are you risking health issues if the clock is running and a pitcher gets, say, 3 warm-up pitches after a conference at the mound with your catcher?
Yeah.
I'm all for speeding up the game. I'm all for pace of the play. Being on this side of it now, you kind of see how it can drag on. But if it jeopardizes the safety of a player, or even messes with your routine so much that it throws you off. I don't know. We'll have to see how that one works out.
Yeah, and what, 3 springs ago we were asking the same thing about instant replay. How long it's going to take. It's going to take guys out of their routines. Do pitchers have to warm up and play catch while all these challenges are going on? 3-2 pitch, and not a very difficult take for Rafael Bautista, who's aboard to lead off the 7th. Tying run at first base with Chris Dominguez coming up. Sean Kelly next in line for the top of the 8th.
And I'm kind of changing my tune, Carp. I'm not going to be the grouchy get off my lawn guy anymore with the new rules. I'm coming around to the pace of play thing. I'm anxious to see how that one works out. Mostly, I think, more than the other rules.
Yeah.
Because the first time a pitcher gets only 4 warm-up pitches and he gives up a home run, a manager's going to come unglued. And maybe even the pitcher, too.
Chris Dominguez, 345 down here, 9 hits and 26 at bats. Homer, 5 RBIs. Talked about him a bit in our first 2 telecasts, big league time. 22 games worth for the 14 Giants and the 15 Reds.
You know, it's only spring training, and wins and losses don't really matter down here. But if you're a young player and you're trying to show your manager something, if you're down by 1 in the bottom of the 7th and you're a base stealer, the Cardinals are thinking he's going to go. He might be thinking he's going to go, but this is when a stolen base has true value. So you can really open a manager's eyes when you steal a base when everybody knows you're trying to.
Yeah, off he goes, and the ball fouled.
It's a good opportunity. Had a nice at-bat, a leadoff walk, down by 1, and now try to advance yourself and show your skipper your skill set.
Top of the hour, 3 o'clock today. Little extra sunshine tonight. We are in daylight savings time. Cardinals got 2 in the first, a run in the 4th. The Nats battled back with runs in the 5th and the 6th. 0-2.
Good count to go on right here for Bautista. Just missed with the fastball. Probably won't double up ahead of the count. You'd think as a base runner this is going to be an off-speed pitch. I'd throw over right here if I was Gil Martin before I throw my off-speed pitch. See what they do.
You should have been a pitcher. But you were a guy at first base.
Yeah, I would be
for a lot of these situations.
Yeah, I would have been anticipating a throw over there if I was a base runner. Maybe even set him up for a throw over and then go on the next pitch. I don't think he'll throw over twice. We'll see.
But does that tip off the next pitch? At least the off speed of it?
It might. The count itself tips off the next pitch if you're hitter. He throws over twice. Now he's not going to come 3. So if you throw over another time, you got me. I'm going first move right here. And then if you throw over, I'm trying to beat the relay to second. Who cares? Spring training, go.
Off he goes. Pitch is high. It's a good throw, and they got him. Francisco Pena put that ball right on the money for the first out here in the 7th.
He read it. He didn't go first move. So if you look at the jump here, it's a click late, and that's why he got thrown out. Watch the jump right here. See that? That's not a great jump by Bautista. That's why he got thrown out. So if a guy throws over twice, you could just gamble and go that he's not going to throw over 3 times. And as soon as he lifts up that right foot, you take off. And I don't think Dave Martinez would have a problem if he got picked off right there in that count going on that play. I'd rather see a guy get picked off by a lefty there going first move than get thrown out on the throw from the catcher. Just saying. We're working on it too. He's getting his timing down. I'm not trying to be too critical. I'm just saying. Got to get your rhythm as a base stealer too down here. supposed to rain today. Look at the sky.
I know.
60% chance at game time. We're saying, are we going to get this one in? Nice try, weatherman.
Yeah.
Weathermen and Hall of Fame hitters.
3 for 10.
3 for 10. What do they have in common? Pilots, 3 for 10?
No.
Doctors?
No.
Taxi cab drivers, you get me where I'm going, 3 for 10, sorry. Uber driver?
Said the man who made the most famous Uber drive in America yesterday.
It's the first time they had a camera on. They had a camera on the windshield,
Looking right at you.
videoing me in the back seat. I felt awkward without you sitting next to me and a camera on me.
Yeah. I was sitting in an airport reading the whole thing and enjoying the heck out of it. Next time you take a camera. 2-2. Got his hands inside that one, and it's out of here. Chris Dominguez continues his outstanding hitting. 10 hits, 2 homers down here in spring training, and this game is tied. That's a strong man's home run there after we see the location of this pitch.
Center cut. Check out the finish. He liked that as soon as he hit it. Was like Tiger staring down an iron shot right there. He knew it was gone. And we got a tie ball game. They can only go 10 innings per Major League Baseball this year.
Yep. There's Spencer Keyboom, who's hitting for Miguel Montero. So his brother's playing short right now, and he's going to be the catcher. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Has
Spencer
Brian and Bryce got in the same game together? Speaking of brothers, Card?
I don't know. It could happen today. Brian is on the list. 2 innings to go for the bullpen, or 3 if we play 10. Spencer, 27 years of age. He was a 5th rounder in 12. Brother Carter, the shortstop, 1st rounder 2 years ago. And while Spencer was at Clemson, he was voted the best defensive catcher in the nation. He started, stopped. 2-2 now. Third base and off the glove of Mejia.
Ball hit hard by Keyboom, and Mejia kind of got flat-footed at the end there. That ball was hit hard. You can't see it from that view. Just saw the end of the play, and he's had a couple, or there has been a couple tough hops down there.
Yep. Alex Mejia gets the error. Still just 1 out. Here's Carter Keyboom, and that one really takes a hop off Mejia. Motoring to third, Spencer Keyboom. And Carter Keyboom hitting right behind him. So we got the brother act on the bases here. Pretty cool. Man, that thing really took a crazy hop.
I mean, you always try to do what your big brother does, right? So your big brother hits a ground ball to third, and he boots it. The little brother says, hey, that's a good idea. I'm going to come up and hit it to third, too. Maybe he'll boot it as well, and maybe he'll boot it all the way to center field. Both the balls hit hard by the Keybooms. And the Nats in business here. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Nice base running by Carter. Or Spencer.
Andrew Stevenson, the hitter. Sanchez on deck.
Spencer's at third. Carter's at second.
Correct.
I don't know who's at first. There they are. Bros.
Then my sister-in-law and brother's coming in. Probably this is the end of April or so. You can April.
Come on, get it in.
And then we have a spoken about
Infield in, tie game, and Andrew Stevenson lays off the curveball away. Southern Nats are down 3-0, trying to make it 4 or 5-3 here.
Come on, Andrew.
As mentioned, Andrews had a lot of at bats down here. He's 8 for 29 with a homer and 5 RBIs. 2-0.
So you look at the infield, they're playing on the grass. Spencer Kieboom, not the greatest runner in the world. As an infielder in this situation, you judge your depth by the speed of the runner on third. So if I'm a Cardinals infielder, I'm maybe playing a little bit deeper here. It doesn't look like Kieboom's going on contact.
4-pitch walk, bases loaded. 4. Adrian Sanchez and Mike Matheny's out to bring in a right-hander.
It's mound visit. Nope. Let's make a change.
He's got the hook with him. The only out registered on a caught stealing. 2 errors, 2 walks, a home run in between. So the Nats in a great position to take command here. Bottom 7. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here's Adrian Sanchez against right-hander Josh Lucas. Drops one in the dirt, blocked by Pena.
See the numbers on Lucas in spring training this year. Fastball slider guy. Actually last year threw the slider more than the fastball, excuse me. Fastball 43%, slider 56%.
Drafted by the Blue Jays out of high school here in Florida, Lakeland Senior High. And then by the Cardinals 21st round from the State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota. Put that across your jersey.
The Manatee?
1 ball, 1 strike.
The Manatee or the name?
All of it.
See, that's the count we were talking about earlier in the broadcast. The 1-1 count and how big it is. Hitters in a 2-1 count, 349. Hitters in a 1-2 count, 159. So now Sanchez has to battle.
Adrian Sanchez, 4 for 19, a couple of RBIs, up the middle, and that is going to be a rally-killing 4-6-3 double play. Josh Lucas tried to get a piece of it, and the Nats would have been better off if he had. We did have a homer in the inning as Chris Dominguez went deep to left. Big, strong right-handed batter. And after 7, this game's still tied.
Done it earlier, the difference in counts. You know, a 1-1 count goes to 2-1 as a hitter. I'm thinking bases loaded, 1 out, driving the ball, I'm hitting the gap, I'm at least hitting a sac fly right here. But a 1-2 count, you're thinking, I better put it in play because I got runners everywhere. So you go from an offensive hitter to maybe a defensive hitter protecting, and that's what Sanchez did right here. There's no knock against him. We showed you the numbers for all of baseball, the difference in those 2 counts. And here they are. Look at the 1-2 count, 159, the 2-1 count, 349. So that's what makes the 1-1 pitch so very important as a hitter. It just totally changes your approach, whether I'm really aggressive and I'm thinking about doing damage or I'm just protecting the plate.
Sean Kelly will be 34 years of age on April 26th. So great to see him doing what he's doing. 1 hit in 4 innings, 2 Ks, 2 walks. I mean, FP, when he got hurt last year, we didn't know if Sean Kelly would pitch again.
Yeah, he was dinged up all season long. Sean's the kind of guy that's not going to.
Paul DeYoung. Boy, there's a lot to like about that shortstop. Double homer walk today. St. Louis on top 4-3.
Hey, regardless of this, and I know we saw a lot of this from Sean last year, he's healthy, and that's all that matters. And this ball's a little bit too much plate. You know, Sean Kelly's big thing is his slider and his elevated fastball. But he's healthy this year, and that's all that really counts. And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, your point's well taken, because he really got beat up last year. Francisco Pena, fly ball to center, 1 out.
He's got a little of the late Rod Beck going. He's got the shooter look out there. You remember Rod Beck for the Giants, their closer?
Yeah.
Kind of got the same kind of look.
Next up is first baseman Patrick Wisdom.
Smart hitter.
Has to be. Kelly to the inside edge, 0-2. 33 games last year. 25 strikeouts in 26 innings, 29 hits.
Usually goes to the slider, down, away, or an elevated fastball right here.
There's your slider.
There's a slider. Try to climb the ladder. Maybe his bread and butter pitch is the heater with a lot of high spin rate above the letters.
Well, Carter Keyboon's going to need his grounder changed to a hit to equal his brother, because that just got changed from an E5 to a base hit. So they both went ground ball to third, but Spencer's has now been ruled, and I think it's the right call, a base hit. So the Nats had 3 hits and 2 walks in that inning. Kind of unusual. They only scored 1 run. And that came on the long ball by Chris Dominguez. Those were the first 2 runners the Nationals stranded all day. 3-2 with 1 out to Patrick Wisdom. That ball is ripped into the corner. Any elevation it would have left. Andrew Stevenson will get it back in good fashion. It's a 1-out double.
Let's see where the pitch was, a location. I'm not sure what the pitch was, actually. I know it was in. It was supposed to be down the way. I couldn't tell if it was a backup slider or a fastball, but either way, a 1-out double for Wisdom and the Cardinals.
So they've taken the lead here in the 8th. Looking for more. The hitter, Harrison Bader. Breaking ball that kind of had a little hang to it, maybe backed up a little bit, got a strike. 0-2.
You know, you're working on things. So sometimes you're reliever, I'm going to work on my slider. Today I'm working on my fastball. But, you know, 0-2 pitch right there. If you ask Sean, he's trying to elevate that. And he threw it with a lot of plate, belt high. And when he's locked in and he's right, as Nats fans saw in 2016, the elevated fastball with 2 strikes was his best friend.
There's the 0-2 again. High gas, really elevated. 2 outs.
There he is. Finally got it up in the zone, and it plays a lot more firm than the speed gun will tell you because of the high spin rate when it's crossing home plate. You know, most fastballs lose velocity. They go downhill, but the ones that have the high spin rate, they stay horizontal. They stay up in the zone, and they're hard to catch up to. Nice pitch.
So that's the pitch everybody talks about for years and years that gives the illusion of going up. It's not really doing that, but it's staying up there.
It's just not going down.
Oh, they got the runner hung up. 6-5, and that's how the inning will end for the Cardinals as they took the lead with the Paul DeJong home run. 4-3, bottom of the 8th.
Stepping into the unknown.
Thursday the 5th. Full and half season ticket plans on sale, plus 7, 9, and 16 game mini plans. 8 custom Peanuts bobbleheads, 7 different celebrity autograph meet and greet sessions, 703-590-2311 or PotomacNationals.com.
165 more of those.
Reed Brignac for the Nats, bottom 8.
Got him.
He's going to first, tying run. So Josh Lucas, who remains in the game, hits a batter. Top of the order now, Moises Sierra. And then Drew Ward will take over for Howie in the DH spot next. Angel Hernandez down at first, says no swing. Front door on the hook for a strike. That's a good heater to the outer edge. Sierra looking for plate coverage here.
I'm excited to see Davey Martinez's brand of baseball. I don't think we've unveiled it yet.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to turn guys loose on the bases that much in spring training.
Well, I mean, he's waiting for the numbers to whittle down to where he's got his crew that's going to head north. And I think you're going to see a lot of exciting plays during the season on offense, especially. He's a guy that not afraid to squeeze, not afraid to safety squeeze. He'll hit and run. He'll steal. He wants guys to be aggressive on the base pass. If you've watched the Cubs at all over the last however many years since Joe Maddon's been there, you've seen all those things. So it's going to be kind of out of the box thinking, stuff that Nats fans will love when it works.
and there will be a few times when it doesn't.
But it's an aggressive brand, and it's going to be fun.
And this breaking ball popped into right center. That is the center fielder Oscar Mercado who makes the grab for the first out. FP, over your years in baseball, do you see more aggressive managing from young guys trying to come in and make their mark, and maybe the older school guys a little more stationary with how they approach, or is there any pattern that you can detect?
I think it's a great question, number one, but I don't think there's a pattern. It's based on who you were brought up by, your style of baseball that you were used to as a player, and then maybe as an assistant coach or a bench coach, and your influence, I guess. I don't think, Mike Matheny as a young manager with no experience was a crazy hit and run steal guy.
Even though the throw was off to the left side, they still get Reed Brignac.
I think Reed wishes there was replay in spring training. He did get a decent jump, and that was a straight steal. As you could tell, he didn't look in. And he gave the left hand, took it away, and stuck the right hand in there. If this were to be replayed and challenged, he'd be safe. Do you see that?
Yeah.
He got that right hand in there before the tag.
Glad he didn't get spiked right at the end.
Watch. Safe.
Right at the end, Wilfredo Tovar had some spikes near his left knee.
Great slide.
Drew Ward's the hitter, 0 for 2.
I was talking to Davey about big guys bunting. He said, when they have the shift on and you have a free hit to third base, a guy like Bryce Harper, Matt Adams, push it hard to third, make it be fair or foul, get yourself on. Say you're down by 2 and it's the 8th inning. A solo home run's not going to do you a whole lot. You need a base runner, and the shift's on. You get here at noon every day, you get in the cage and you practice your swings for a 7 o'clock game. What are you practicing? You're practicing a good base hit. And if they're giving you a free one, if you practice your bunts and you're adept at it, you remember Anthony Rizzo used to do that a lot for the Cubs, the shift, bunt against it. I like it.
2-2. Did he go? He did. Home plate umpire rings up Drew Ward. So the Nats started the inning with a hit batter, and 2 batters later, it's over. This one to the 9th.
scores you're looking live at. 4-3 Cardinals, top of the 9th inning. That's baseball from spring training is always live with MLB At Bat. The app will keep you connected every day with live radio calls, video highlights, stats, breaking news, and more. You can even watch it if you're a passenger in a car driving somewhere, or if you're driving somewhere, you can listen to Bob and I and to the game. Download MLB At Bat now. It's your #1 national. I said listen if you're driving. Okay. If you're a passenger, you could watch. If you're driving, you could always listen.
Mets have a new pitcher, left-hander Ismael Guillon, 26 years of age, from Valencia, Venezuela. Was in the Reds organization last year, pitched at AA Pensacola, AAA Louisville. A combined 40 games and 70 innings. And a pretty good strikeout total for that time, 76 Ks. Luke Voit for St. Louis here. He'll be batting for Greg Garcia. Luke Voit is a St. Louis native. Hit .246 for the Cardinals in 62 games last year. Jammed him. Pretty good pitch by Guillon. Adrian Sanchez straight across for the first out, top 9. Next up is Oscar Mercado.
Yeah, I've been using the Bob Carpenter scorebook here for spring training.
You have? Yeah.
And I still don't have I still do not have a complete game. I'm looking for that finish line one of these days.
We wish you well.
I'm up to 7 innings. I want to, just like these pitchers, get my count up. Hey.
Left center for this one, Bautista tracking it. Glasses blazing in the late afternoon sunshine here. 2 outs.
Lefty keeping score.
Well done.
That looks like it's in the program from today.
That is part of the program here.
That's better than mine. Attaboy.
And the hitter will be Alex Mejia.
Check out how he puts the ball in his glove. Almost like he's going through his armpit with the baseball. Before he puts it in. The reason I noticed this as a kid, we used to imitate everybody in wiffle ball. So if you had a different, look at that, right there.
Yeah, that's a little tuck of the ball
something
there.
Different. We did it in the backyard. A little hesitation there at the top too. Watch. See, that's something if you're in the backyard and you're playing wiffle ball. I used to do Al Hrabowski all the time, the Mad Hungarian. I'd rub up the baseball with my back to the hitter, smack it in my glove, and here we go.
You know, Al's not here today, but a former Nat is in the TV booth next to us.
He is.
Our buddy Rick Ankiel, working some spring training games. He lives in Jupiter, and during the season he'll be doing some pre and post game work for the Cardinals. Told me he's loving life. His wife Lori helps out professional baseball and other sport wives. There's Ricky. Lori helps out other wives in professional sports get acclimated to having to move the family, get settled in. It's a wonderful thing she's doing, and always great to see our old friend Rick Ankiel.
He had a horrible arm. If he just worked on his arm strength a little bit. Not very accurate, didn't know where it was going.
I still remember him as the only Nat with a homer and a sacrifice bunt in the same game. Beautiful day. Sunny, breezy all afternoon long. This one to the bottom of the ninth. Nationals will have 3, 4, 5 due up. Dominic Leone on to try to close it out for St. Louis.
Decent spring training numbers for Dominic.
Yeah, well, quite an outing for Josh Lucas, who came in and got the double play ball in the 7th. Then he hit a batter and ended up getting him caught stealing. So he got 5 big outs for the St. Louis bullpen and stands as the winning pitcher. Dominic Leone, 26 years of age, from Norwich, Connecticut originally. Drafted originally by the Mariners out of Clemson. There's Bautista, a walk his first time up, and he was caught stealing.
His job to get back on base again and try to represent that tie and run.
And that was right before the Dominguez home run. Breaking ball, 1-1.
All right, I'm pretending this counts as a broadcaster. It's part of my spring training. Ready?
All right.
Down by 1, bottom of the 9th. Here we go.
I would call that some kind of insight right there.
You know, if they're practicing their home run walk-off, then hey, down by 1, bottom of the 9th. Crowd going crazy here.
Two balls, 1 strike. Well outside, 3-1.
Do you take here or do you swing, Carp?
If I see heater, I'm swinging.
You swinging? I might fill it up here if I'm a speedy on-base leadoff type guy down by 1.
Yeah, make the pitcher throw you 2 strikes now.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about much there. Tying a run aboard. And Chris Dominguez coming up. The number 4 spot today has produced a Rendon double and a Dominguez home run.
A lot of signs by Henley. Does Dominguez bunt here or do you play it straight? We'll see. If we're pretending this counts, this might be a situation to bunt.
Ball cutting to the outer edge.
He's got a pair of key booms waiting after this.
Spencer, the catcher, next, and Carter, the shortstop, after him. Similar pitch. Dominguez couldn't get to it.
I'm just thinking here. We're pretending like it counts, but if you're the Keyboom family and you're watching at home, how proud are you of your kids? You're watching a major league game and both of your kids are hitting back-to-back. It's got to be cool.
Very nice.
Gets to 1-2, or maybe even right now. I don't think 0-2 is a great pitch to run on. Normally it's an elevated fastball, even a pitch out. But if it gets to 1-2, I think you might see Bautista go, even though he got thrown out last time with not his best jump.
Francisco Pena is still behind the plate. Target away, 0-2. Chopped it high in the air and foul.
The average in Major League Baseball in a 0-2 count last year, 152.
That one's sailing up and in.
All right. Game on right here if you're Bautista. This is the pitch you want to go on. High fastball. You short tee up in your eyes. You're thinking that's to get the off speed down and away. Probably won't double up on the heater. At least that's the thought process if you're on first. He might throw the heater, but that's what you're thinking. And that's why it's a good count to run. He did double up. Pretty quick to the plate.
Bautista moving out for a walking lead, and Leon tried to catch him.
They practiced their walk-off homers and their trots. Just saying.
Dominguez hit 2 down here. He gets jammed on that one. Into right. Ball pushed to short of the track. And here's some aggressive base running. Play right in front of them, and Bautista gets the tying run to second base, so a productive out.
Then once you saw the outfielder kind of cruise into this, you go back and tag, you represent the tie and run. Give some credit to Tim Bogar, who I believe was screaming tag on that. Somebody was yelling tag, and I'm going to give Tim Bogar a lot of credit on this. Watch Bautista scramble back, find the base, makes the catch, and advances 90 feet. A huge 90 feet down by 1 in the ninth. Nicely done by everybody.
Yeah, got 2 chances with base hits to tie the game. Spencer already with a base hit on that hot shot off Mejia's body 2 innings ago.
Also, the value of putting the ball in play with 2 strikes.
So overlooked. I mean, we harp on it, but it's a big part of this game.
We do.
So Leon starting to miss up and in quite a bit here. Four-3 game, bottom of the ninth. I think I saw Chip Carey tweet a couple weeks ago. They want to speed up the game, eliminate Velcro with the batting gloves and everything that gets adjusted after every pitch.
Chip so witty.
Yeah, but we have Matt Adams and he doesn't. That was a running joke between us and the Braves crew last year.
They were excited when they got Matt Adams.
When they got Matt Adams, I thought Babe Ruth signed with the Braves.
Well, rightly so. He did well for them. And we got just as excited when they signed him here.
Left side, one hopper. Mejia cuts it off, 2 down. It's up to Carter Keyboom. Spencer put a couple of good swings on the ball here today. Carter hit that wicked chopper, that high topspin thing off the body of Mejia last time. So Bautista, good speed at second base. It comes down to a runner in scoring position, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs.
Good pitch. Not one you want as a hitter until you have to.
Carter looking for his first RBI of the spring. Down and in, 1-1. Out of play, right side. Oh my goodness. Did Patrick Wisdom rather unwisely go hard into that barrier, but you can't fault the effort.
I heard somebody yell fence, fence, fence. Maybe we get the audio on the replay, but I think the second baseman was yelling fence, fence, fence. He didn't hear it. You think? Good hustle, though. Hear that? Fence, 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 fence. And that's what you say if you're not involved in the play. You try to tell him he's out of real estate.
One and two with 2 outs. Carter getting some cuts here.
Very good swing. Protected in a 2-strike count. So you get in these games late as a minor league player, you get a big knock, you come back into the clubhouse, and there's still big leaguers in there that are just getting done lifting weights and getting their routine done, maybe coming out of the cage, and they tell you good job. It's something you remember as a young player forever. So this is a lot bigger than it would seem for Kieboom.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Good job by the catcher and the base runner. Carter's battled back even here at 2-2.
He's fighting.
Swing and a miss. Game over. Cardinals led 3-0. Nats tied it, and St. Louis wins it 4-3 on the Paul DeJong leadoff homer in the 8th inning. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. The Nats fall to 7-8. The Cardinals improved to 7-8. And Tanner Roark went 4 innings today, 9 ground ball outs, building up his pitch count to 64. For FP and Dan, Bob Carpenter, we'll see you Tuesday night. The Mets will be here from 40 minutes north up in Port St. Lucie. This has been a presentation of Masson, and until Tuesday evening, yeah, Matt Reynolds went deep. So long for just a while.